Hello, everybody. I'm Alex from Working Writers Co. And this message, this little video that I'm about to create, is for any working writer who's part of our environment. It's for all authors. It's for aspiring authors. And a much larger audience, though I'll let you figure out who that is and whether it applies to you if you're not an author. So what I'd like to discuss today is the topic of reality. And I'm going to enter into this conversation by giving you a little bit of context. And the context is that yesterday evening, we had a special guest on our program. And that special guest is an expert in the publishing field. And she's also an author, a fantastic author, and a great resource, an excellent person. It was a magnificent session. Our writers really enjoyed it. And so did we as coaches, my partner Marcy and I. However, after the hour was up, I could sense that people in the group were a little bit disheartened about their prospects to become published authors, to actually make a living from their books. And I'd like to talk a little bit about that today and talk about reality. So let's begin by discussing life in general and what I see in the world. So most of you who are listening to this little video right now work for a living. You've got a mortgage to pay, food to put on the table, perhaps kids to put through school, and other expenses that are important to you as a family. Maybe you want to go on vacation at some point. So this means that we work for a living. And based on my experience, what I reckon is that everyone who's working wants to make a little bit more money, right? To pay off that mortgage faster, or to take that vacation sooner, or to have a little bit more spending money. And so it's your desire to want a raise, to make more money. And if you're an entrepreneur, to sign more customers, to offer more service, however it is that you make more money. And one of the ways that you can make more money is to get a promotion. And so a lot of people in the workforce are looking to move to that next step, to become a manager, to become a supervisor, to become a VP, to perhaps become a chief marketing officer. Whatever your aspiration is, that promotion comes with a pay raise. But the reality, and we're talking about reality today, is that when you look at the vast majority of the world, very few people rise to the level that they would like to rise to. Meaning that if you're making $50,000 a year from your job and you'd love to make $100,000 a year, very few people actually succeed in doing that. Very few people get that next promotion, and then the next promotion, and then the next promotion that takes them from 50 to 100 to 200 to 500, whatever it is you want to make. So if I were to estimate the amount of people who are actually successful in doing that, I would say it's probably less than 1% of the population, a lot less than 1% of the population. And that's what I'm talking about when I'm talking about reality, is that we believe that reality is everything we see around us. The average person does this, therefore it's reality. And I'll say you're right about that. So I wanted to paint that picture, and I wanted you to understand that. And I'm going to give you one more example to hammer this point home. In school, when you enter into school, whether you're in elementary school, high school, university, or some type of program that you've taken, I think most people, their goal is to learn and to do well by assimilating the information, by using the information, and being able to demonstrate their use of that information, their knowledge of the information through tests, and get a great mark on that test. And so most people are aspiring to get 100% and get an A on that. And we all understand what the ramifications of doing well in school are. We are able to use that information to advance ourselves, to expand. For most people, that's ultimately to make a lot more money so that they can pay the mortgage and pay all those things that we were talking about before. But again, the reality in school is that a small percentage of your class will end up with a 95% average. And so it's reality, or perceived reality, that the majority of people will be in the lower 95%. Just like the majority of people who are seeking that $100,000 job, $200,000 job, $500,000 job are not going to make it there. They're just not. That is the average. And so a lot of people say that's reality. Well, let's flip our attention to authorship right now. Authorship is no different than wanting to become a famous actor or a famous musician. The odds of becoming a famous actor are slim if you look at the averages, right? So how many people go to Hollywood every year and have a dream of becoming a famous actor, getting on a TV show, being in a movie? Many, many, many people. Thousands, I would venture. And yet how many people make it? Very few. So that's reality, isn't it? According to what you see, according to what you believe reality is. And it would be the same thing with a musician as well. And now let's talk about authorship. The same theory applies to authorship. You spend months or years writing a book. You pour your heart and your soul into it. And your vision, just like the person who wants more money at work, just like the person who wants to do better in school, just like the person who wants to become a great actor, a famous musician, your goal probably is to have people interact with your work. And the more people who interact with your work, the more fruitful that is, the more energy you create. And so you end up feeling that energy. And I think ultimately that's what people want when they want more money, more education. They want to feel a certain way. They want the energy that allows growth in any way you see fit. So for an author who pours their soul into their book, on average, a small percentage, less than 1%, are going to have their book published by a large publisher or an independent press and really create a massive readership and huge revenue from their book. That's the reality that you know, that you see, that you read about, that actually unfolds almost every single day. And that reality was painted for us in last night's session with our esteemed guest, who was absolutely terrific, bang on. And yet I could sense by the end of the call that our writers were disheartened by their prospects. My gosh, it's going to be almost impossible to be published by a large publisher. It's going to be challenging to be published by an independent press. How many people are going to read my book? Am I not going to make any money off of this? Am I not going to recoup any of my investment? People invest time, people invest money in their books. So that's a scary prospect for a lot of people. Now, I'd like to give you a lot of hope. I'd like to paint the picture of possibility. And here's what I'll say about that and about those of you who may be disheartened about your prospects as an author. Here's what I'll say. I'll say that you create your reality. I'll say that reality is necessarily yours, your perception of what happens in life. It's not the average unless you buy into the average. Reality is what you see. Reality is what you create. And so, why would you abandon hope as an author, as an actor, as someone who's making money for your family? Why would you do that based on the averages? Why wouldn't you use your creativity to accomplish what you want to accomplish, understanding that there are infinite ways to accomplish what it is you'd like to do? Let's use being a movie actor for a second. What's your goal in becoming a movie actor? I think for most people, their goal is money. Boy, I'd love to make millions of dollars making a movie. Fame. Boy, I'd love it if tons of people saw me and they recognized me. That would feel really good. So money and fame happen to be two of them. And for a lot of people, I'll say that it goes beyond that. Well, I want to do it because I want to invest my time and my energy in the craft. And I want to live in a different world and portray an actor, or a character that is. And I want to feel that, and I want people to feel that, and I want people to learn from that. And that's very noble. That's very beautiful. That might be another motivation behind it. And there might be all sorts of other motivations. Regardless of what those motivations are, there are infinite ways to accomplish what you want to accomplish. And so with regard to being an actor, you don't have to be a Hollywood actor to make lots of money and be famous. You can create your own movies, and they can be so darn good that they go viral. And your YouTube video that's shot as a movie ends up being massive and ends up attracting tons of audience members and people who see it, satisfying your desire for people to see your work and for the energy loop to actually start to happen. So why would you only bank on one way of doing it through Hollywood when there's infinite ways to do that? There's infinite platforms these days. So don't abandon that hope. Simply hold on to your reality that you're going to make it happen and create it for yourself. Now, in authorship, it's the same story. It doesn't have to be Penguin. It doesn't have to be Random House. It doesn't have to be a massive publisher that publishes your piece or your story, your book, in order for you to make money or be visible or share your craft. You can do that yourself. You can do that through self-publishing. You can do it through an independent press. You can do it a zillion different ways. There are ways that you can do it that haven't even been created yet. And it's up to you to figure that out. And if you're working with Working Writers Co., what we'll do is we'll feed you different ways that you can achieve what you want to achieve with your writing. So I'll give you a couple of hints right now with regard to your writing. And in our program, we go way more into depth in terms of these strategies. But when you're writing, why wouldn't you turn your writing into an opportunity to teach people what you've experienced through your writing? So if you're writing nonfiction and it's a self-help book, why wouldn't you create a course, an online course based on the material from your book and monetize that? So for thousands of dollars, people can buy that course and learn from you and be excited by your book and probably buy your book in addition to the course that you've built. And so you're achieving the money goal you had with regard to your book. You're achieving the readership goal that you had with regard to your book. And you're the one who's doing that. And that's only one idea, creating an online course. What if you were to create a membership? What if you were writing fiction and you got so good at writing fiction that you could share your secrets on your formula? And what if you had a membership and it was an inexpensive membership and you attracted a lot of people to that membership and they wanted to hear you 4 times per month and you showed up for an hour 4 times a month and you talked about your process, what it felt like, what it was like, what tools you used, how you got better at this, what you learned, the mistakes you made. And what if at a small dollar value, you had thousands of people part of that membership? You'd be able to monetize that. You'd be able to create that reality of realizing the financial gain from your book and also the visibility of your book and the energy flow that you're seeking, if it's fame that you're seeking. So those are 2 ideas. I've got 15 more ideas just like that are so simple to execute if you have the passion, the belief, the desire, the perseverance to actually go and get what you want. I'm passionate about this. I am so passionate about this. And I'll give you an example. I want my business to succeed, Working Writers Co. And because I want it to succeed, it's succeeding. And how am I doing that? By doing all of those things I just listed. By being passionate, by working hard, by persevering, by making mistakes, by learning on the fly. Everything I'm doing every single day contributes to the well-being of my business, our business with my partner Marcy Barbaro, She is lockstep with me as she builds this business, and we share this philosophy. So to our working writers who were on last night's call, to you who are watching this video right now, you can have whatever the fuck you want. You really can. Can you hear my passion coming through? Can you feel my passion? It's there in spades. Reality is what you make, not what the average is. And if you want to listen to the average, if you want to be the average, go ahead. That's up to you. That's your journey. That's your destiny. But I'm telling you right now, from my experience, my whole life's experience, that what I want, I am capable of getting. And if I haven't gotten it, it's because I didn't try hard enough. So, you're an author, and you're watching this video right now. You can do it. That's what I'm telling you right now. You can do it. And it will only be you who's capable of making it happen. Nobody else. You'll have partners like us at Working Writers Co. You'll have a publishing partner one day, whether that's a self-publishing company, whether you publish it yourself, whether it's an independent press, whether it's a major publisher. You will have partners. You need them. You need other people in life. But you are solely responsible for your success as an author, as a business person, as a person in a relationship, as a parent, as a spouse, whatever that is that you decide you are responsible for it. And that should bring you tremendous hope because you've got yourself. You're there. You're listening to this message right now. You're there. It's you. You. Only you. So go get what you want. Go and bloody well get it. And if you need a little bit of help so that you can go get what you want, connect with us. Book a call with us. Our link is probably somewhere in our bio. That's my message for today. Don't despair. Whatever you're doing, whatever you're creating, whatever you're expressing, hold in your mind, in your heart, what you want to accomplish. Hold it there and go and get it and be deliberate about it and accept that you're capable of creating your vision in ways that you've never even imagined or conceived of. Have a great day.